Everyone, back again. Professor Josh over here. And today I'd like to talk to you guys for a few minutes about the importance of falling. What I'd like to show you guys is some excerpts from an article on the importance of falling by Jigoro Kano. I know. I'm a judo guy. I'm going to yell about judo. I'm going to talk to you guys about judo. And I'm going to get with it. But one thing I want to say about this is get that out of your mind. Get that judo versus jiu-jitsu nonsense out of your mind. Also, I'm not going to get into the whole BJJ versus judo and which one's better. What I'm going to talk about today is coming directly from Kano about the importance of falling and how to improve your game by improving your training so you can improve your performance. So first off, the overall guiding principle of judo is called Jito Kuyoi, which means mutual welfare and benefit. And this is a give and take where we both work together to get something out of this activity. And that's a big part of judo in the sense of, you know, I get to do 10 reps, you get to do 10 reps, and we work together to get better. And this isn't a fight, this is training. So that's one of the first things about learning how to fall correctly. You're going to learn to work together correctly. In addition to safety and confidence that this practice imparts, is an essential part of understanding the more advanced techniques of judo. So, what you're trying to do is create an environment where you can train the technique over and over and over and over again. By learning to fall correctly, you can, and your partner can, get in more repetitions, not only from the drilling aspect, but during the live actual stand-up part of what the Japanese call randori or rolling. Now, first and foremost, in order to get good at this, if I was going to teach you spider guard. Let's pull spider guard out of there. I'm going to first have to walk you through some steps of spider guard and learn and teach you how to control and where your pressure should be and how your hips should be moving, how your grips need to be set up, how to off balance. Okay. So, that is incremental learning of advanced techniques. Break falling is the same thing. I kind of akin takedowns maybe to people who say, yeah, I know how to box, or I wrestled in high school or something like that. You want to start simple, okay? Start simple with the simple techniques that do back break falls, like single and double legs, okay? Now, you don't have single and double legs in judo. Bull. They do have single and double legs in judo. It is part of the canon of judo. They are in the 64 major classified portions of throws. Okay? The reason they're not in competition anymore is just because of some viewer aspects and some competitive aspects to increase the amount of time, to decrease the amount of time athletes spent fumbling around doing negative techniques. Okay? And we're going to talk about that in just a second. So don't think that, well, there's no single and double legs in judo. Listen, I single and double leg people all the time back in the day. Whenever that leg grabs were legal, I ankle picked everybody. I would grab a hold of your ankle and chew on it if I had to get you down, because I was trying to get people down to armbar them. I looked at my judo training when I competed in judo in the sense of, I'm going to take you down and armbar you. And if in the process I scored an ippon with the throw, great. But I was still going for an armbar. Okay? So baby step your way into good break falling and good throws. If you're just getting out there, back to my spider guard reference, and the first technique you're going to learn is spider guard or worm guard or some complex technique, and that's the first thing you learn in jiu-jitsu, your progression is going to be very slow. But and just the same thing in judo. If your first technique you're going to learn is uchimata or seonage or some other big crazy throw that technique, that guys take years to master and perfect, you're shooting your target at this at two. You're shooting at too narrow of a target. Just get good at falling with real simple techniques, safe techniques, things that are easy to do that you can gain confidence from falling. Because in the beginning, when you start falling, it's gonna hurt because you're not falling correctly. Just like everything else you do in this sport, it just takes time to develop those skills and to get to that point where you're comfortable taking hundreds of falls or dozens of falls in the course of a night. So start slowly with your drilling and practicing break falling and getting good at it. Then start getting better. Okay? Look at this. This is straight from Kano. First, fall by yourself. Then have a partner throw you. And repeat these steps. Start with a low throw, no movement, and slowly. Build yourself up. Okay? I think a discouraging thing that a lot of people see, especially with something as dynamic as judo, is they don't see that stellar result that they see on YouTube. And man, that's you're shooting for a wrong goal. The wrong goal. Okay? Listen, I love those guys. I love guys like Koga and some of these new kids that they're coming out there. They're throwing crazy stuff. I love good, powerful judo. But that is throwing at a level that you have a very hard time comprehending, or maybe have a hard time comprehending and understanding. And the outcome of that event is not to land the guy into a position to get a submission. Don't get me wrong, there are some guys out there who do it and who are very, very, very well known for that. Jimmy Pedro, Kayla Harrison, Ronda Rousey was another one. A lot of the Americans were notorious for taking people down and getting into groundwork on Newaza and using that transition to get there and win on the ground. Okay, it's not unheard of in judo. It's just not highlighted on the reels, because when you see Teddy Rainier throwing some massive Osotogari or Uchimata, that another guy's lifted up in the air and that looks good, So those things are that it kind of misleading. Okay, baby steps. All right. Here's another one, another huge one. Lose the ego. Ukemi is about receiving the fall gracefully in judo and life. This is important that so you can rise up to continue the struggle. We learn that you can benefit from the lesson of the fall rather than suffer from it. Falling in judo teaches us to get to acceptance quickly. We must not deny that we were thrown, dwell on it, feel angry or depressed about it, or try to justify it. We must accept it as a lesson and move on before we are pinned where we lie. Lose the ego. Take the fall. The team that I came up with in UL, the amount of actual randori we did was huge. The amount of training that we did was huge, and it got to a point where, there was only a few of us doing this, and we would go into sometimes death battles where I wasn't going to let him throw me, he wasn't going to let me throw him, and we beat each other up and just smashed each other. One day, my coach, his coach for the Paralympic team, showed up to practice. Well, actually, we did a camp for the whole Paralympic. The whole blind judo team had showed up. So we're doing this camp. And at the end of it, me and Scott are kind of tired, and Larry's over there, and he's like, all right, you two get out on the mat, let's see what you got. So we start getting after it. So we start going through a match. Well, we were tired, and we'd been at it all day, and it wasn't beautiful. So at the end of it, Larry calls us back over and tells Scott, like, what are you doing? You're battling not to get thrown by him the whole time. You look like shit, and the only thing I see you doing is working not to get thrown. lose the ego, and he specific words he told him: lose the ego, take some falls, and get better. Scott went on. This was right before Barcelona. I want to believe. I want to say he had taken the bronze in Atlanta. He took the gold in Barcelona and then the gold in Athens, if I remember correctly, or the gold in Sydney and the gold in Athens, something along those lines. But that was right there. Coach telling him, man, take the fall. Who cares? Nobody's watching. There's no scoreboard. What are you worried about? Okay? And that goes to this last part. You're training. Sure, we want to try to avoid the setback. Now, again, everything that you see is directly quoted from Kano. Sure, we want to try to avoid the setback, and we understand the potential danger of a fall, but we learn to accept it in a way that does not paralyze us. In fact, it frees us to take risks, show more courage, and commitment in our actions. It allows us to remain in control of our future and not give in to unfortunate circumstances. In addition, it keeps us humble and grounded. A Turkish proverb says, he who sleeps on the floor cannot fall off the bed. You're training. And you want your partners to get better. And so if you let your partner, and again, it's a hard term to say let, but when your partner makes a good action and fits in really well and gets in and you're about to go over and then you just start spazzing out trying to dump them backwards and just everything that you can to stop the throw, you're hurting yourself, one, but you're also damaging your partner in the sense of that you're training and he shouldn't have to go 200% on his takedowns, which is one of the reasons why people seem to get injured when they're doing takedowns, because they move in, they go into this, fight or flight syndrome or this do or die thing where, well, if he takes me down, I'm going to do it. I'm going to die. You're not. You're a jiu-jitsu expert. You can fight off of your back with the greatest of ease. So what does it matter while you're training that you stay on your feet for 15, 20, 30 seconds and try to develop a game to improve your skills as a practitioner of martial arts? But you got to lose your ego. You got to humble yourself. You got to take your time and develop the skill of break falling so you can protect yourself in the event that you do get thrown. And in the process of doing that, you're going to be more open to that environment. Okay? And you're going to be more willing to engage in those exchanges with your partner. Because your confidence to protect yourself from a fall is at its highest. It's very, very simple. Have fun, train, and work together to get better. Okay? Work together to get better. Practice your break falls. Yeah, but coach, we don't have good mats at our gym. I don't care. I honestly don't care. Yeah, but we only got little. I don't care. We began out on the polyurethane roll-out wrestling mats and folding mats. Go find my friend Doug, U.S. Sambo player. Go find my friend Doug. Go train with him at a rec club on a carpeted floor with blue fold-out gymnastics mats. And then come complain to me that our mats aren't that good. But because I can break fall, because Doug could break fall, because I could break fall, and I had the trust and confidence in my training partners to protect me, and I could protect myself, and he knew that I could protect myself. This is no BS. We had 4 of those blue fold-out mats that we smooshed together, which their Velcro had, I don't know, I think it had malaria in it too. It was gross. So you can train break falls, okay? Again, now if you don't have good mats, are you going to be able to do hundreds and hundreds? No. But if you do, if you know good break falls, you can train a little consistently even with poor conditions, okay? Investing in a crash pad is nice. It's always good. But again, if you have good training partners, good break falls, you can be able to get good takedowns. Not only that, but by break falling well, you're protecting your partner from injury too. Because one of the big problems with throws is people hurt their knees and they hurt their shoulders. And the reasons their knees and shoulders get hurt is because the other person is defending 4,000% and you're going maybe 60 or 70%. They don't want to get thrown, but you don't really want to have to shake them around and fight them and battle them. You're just training and you're trying to have fun. But they're at stage 12 oh shit mode. Okay? Gotta roll light, bro. Gotta roll light, bro. Let's do a little light roll, bro. Let's just flow roll, man. Well, you can do the same thing with your stand-up and get increasingly better. You know, it's kind of like, well, we're gonna spar in boxing, and you know, whoever gets the first knockout wins. What? If you're sparring to the knockout in boxing, or kickboxing, or Muay Thai practice, you're not gonna train them very often. And it's the same thing with takedowns. If you're training to knock people out with it, take your time. You're not going to have very many training partners. Okay. Listen, takedowns are great. Judos are awesome. I love it. Train hard. Pay attention. Do a little bit of research and practice good break falls. Keep training. See you guys and gals later.